Hashem. Okay. Might have heard from me before. The world needs to know this niggun. I'm Chaim. Hayes was saying to them about Yerushalayim, Yerakoidish, as Hashem. And we are starting this new book, this amazing book. It's not so new. My dear friend of Shlomo Katz put this together, The Soul of Jerusalem. And Reb Shlomo begins from the word Bereshis. He says the world usually translates the first word of Torah as in the beginning, Bereshit. But Bereshis does not mean in the beginning. The Medrash says that Bereshis means because of the beginning. Many, many, many explanations of the word Bereshis. But this is the one Shlomo's jumping into now. Bishvil Reshis, for the sake of, because of the beginning. And Shlomo interprets this Medrash to mean God created the world because of those people who know the secret of beginning. I want to just take a second to look at some sources on this idea and how they relate to Yerushalayim. One thing is that the Gemara in Sukkah, if I remember right, it's Daf Nun Gimel or thereabouts, says Bereshis can be read as Bara Shis. Shis, the Shisin, were these holes in the Mizbeach that you poured the wine and the water into. And they went down, down, down into the depths, and Adla Tahom. And the Gemara says that Hashem, that was the first thing Hashem made. So this is immediately connecting Bereshis to Yerushalayim. Reb Shlomo doesn't at the beginning say why he's talking about Bereshis. I'm filling this in a little bit from the outside, just maybe where it's coming from. Because the idea being that at the very outset of reality, Hashem made these kind of subterranean tunnels through which we can always connect to Him by going deeper, 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 deeper. This usually when we talk about connecting with Hashem, we talk about getting high. We also talk about getting deep, profound, right? Here, this Indian of Yerushalayim, on the one hand, Yerushalayim is a place of the tefillah is going up, and the Mizbeach, things burn up and go up to Hashem. But the Mizbeach is really a nexus point in the middle, because there's also the wine and the water that goes down, 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 right, to the depths, right? And that's really, it's a completion. It's a completion. That's part of, I think, what made Shlomo so amazing. Is that so much of what had made him so amazing was what you didn't see. He had all this unbelievable nigunim and high ideas, but you knew that there was a depth there. A depth both in terms of his vast knowledge and understanding of Torah. He was one of the greatest Talmudists of the generation. Reb Shlomo, of all the people who listen to Rav Aaron Kotler's that tells 4-hour Gemara Shir, quoting hundreds of sources, Reb Shlomo was the one that Rav Aaron chose to be the chayzer, to repeat the whole shir to everyone, to make sure everyone understood it, to understand what that is. And Rav Shlomo said, maybe there was one in 1,000 years like Rav Aaron Kotler. He was a going. Rav Shlomo had profundity of his understanding, and he also had profundity of the heart. That when he spoke about joy, he didn't speak about it in a way that alienated you if you were in a darker place. Shlomo knew the depths of the human experience. He had empathy. I mean, unbelievable empathy. Unbelievable empathy. And that's more this thing of the shisin, this barashis, these tunnels. And again, this is just me theorizing that maybe this is a little bit where he's coming from. That why does the book about Jerusalem and his beginning talk start about the idea of Bereshis? Is this concept of barashis, that Hashem created as the first thing, these deeper, deeper, deeper tunnels that go deep, deep into the depths of reality and connect to Hashem in that kind of a way. Right? Means there's always a way back. There's always a way through, and there's always a connection to the Creator through, without having to transcend, just going deeper and deeper into the earth, into, until you can encounter Hashem in the depths.
Rav Ginsburg does this with Gematria.
Yeah, Rav Ginsburg is another level. Another level.
Yeah.
So what Reb Shlomo's going to be focusing on here, as we'll see, is the Bishvil Reshis meaning an energy of beginning. An ability, an ability to connect to the beginning. An energy of beginning. And he says it's Hashem created the world because of those people who know the secret of beginning. Right? There's a midrash, Breshis Rabbah, Parsha Tes Ois Daled. Right at the beginning, Breshis Rabbah, when Hashem looked at the world, Vayar Elokim es kol asher asa v'hinei tov me'od, on the 6th day, Hashem's looking back, v'hinei tov me'od. And then you have Rabbi Yochanan, who said, Amar, Melech Bas Adam Bonet Paltin, Mabit Balyonim Re'iyah Achat, B'tachtonim Re'iyah Achat. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Sorry. V'hinei tov me'od. Rabbi Chama Bar Chanina and Rabbi Yonasan. 2 pshatim on what it means v'hinei tov me'od. This is incredible because it expresses Hashem like being like wistful, like having gaguin. The first one is Rabbi Chama Bar Chanina's mashal to a king who made a palace. Ra'ot Arvalo, he saw this palace. He says, this is so sweet. I love it. Amar Paltin Paltin, my palace, my palace. Halavai tehe malas chen lefanai b'chol eis kashem shehaleis chen lefanai b'shazu. If only you can be filled with chen every moment, the same way that you are filled, bringing chen, bringing this sense of connectivity and newness that you are at this moment. Yeah, means the moment Hashem created the world, this is like what Shlomo was saying. He made the world for people who understand the secret of beginning, meaning people who always bring it back to that freshness of the beginning. Right? This is one of the amazing things of what it means to like hear a nigga and to just get your neshama back. Is life becomes life again when you remember, like, I'm just at the cusp. I'm like this moment is Breishis bara right now. There was never a world. It's incredible. Look at all these shapes and colors and people and air, and Hashem is with us right now. The hischadshus, the newness, that, so to speak, Hashem could see that there is a chance of things becoming old, of things becoming dated, of things becoming rote, of things becoming routine. And so that's the first opinion in the Midrash. And the second one, Rabbi Yonasan, Amar Lamelech Shaya Mesi Bito, like a king who was marrying off his daughter, and he made for her chuppah and everything, and he saw her, and it was so sweet, and he said, my daughter, Alavai, Te'ah chuppah azot, ma l'schen l'fanai b'chol eis, k'shem shel l'schen l'fanai b'sha'azu. If only we could have this chen before me always, like it is today on your wedding day. Kach ba'kadosh baruch hu l'olamo, olami, olami, to my world, if only you could be malachen. So in this, there's a Shem Mishmuel. And the Shem Mishmuel says, sorry, Shem Mishmuel brings this midrash, and this is Ois Ches and Breishis in the Sefer Shem Mishmuel, Heilig of Shmuel Mesachachov. And he asked, why do we need both of these two mashalim? Like somebody who built a palace and somebody marrying off a daughter, isn't it basically the same idea? The world should be as new as it is at the beginning. What are these two analogies? Yeah? That there's midrashim about what is the reishis. Bishvil reishis, Rashi brings it in Chumash. One reishis is Am Yisrael. We're called reishis tevuah. So Am Yisrael are called the beginning of Hashem's produce. And the Torah is called reishis chochma. The Torah is called the beginning of wisdom. And so he says, so the Zohar HaKadosh, the Torah, and Am Yisrael are both discussed also in the same way. And he says, the Paltin Shel Melech. We know that that's a place where the king is going to live with his children and his family. Hamakom shedarbo hamelechim banav bnei beito v'yadua shebanav bnei beito shekadosh baruch hu, who are Hashem's children and family, is Am Yisrael. Lefizeh, the world is a palace, meaning this is about Am Yisrael, the people who know the secret of newness, right? And that we're going to really be at home in this world with Hashem. So what Avram Avinu was doing this with Judaism basically is, how do we know? Because the beginning, the old school Judaism is make a space, invite people in, give them food. Full stop, right? Monotheism, faith, connection with Hashem, that's what it looks like. And Hashem saying, if I want my palace to be like that, always, I want it to be filled with this chen of this connectivity. And b'chol eis, and what's the chuppah? The daughter at her chuppah, that's the Torah. Hashem is sharing His wisdom to Am Yisrael, and that the Torah should also be learned in a way that is fresh and new each time, and always bring us back to that beginning point, right? So Shlomo, we'll go back into Reb Shlomo. So Shlomo says, Bereshis, because of the beginning. God created the world because of those people who know the secret of beginning. Some people only know the secret of the end. For them, the world was a waste of time, just suffering, just survival. Right? This is a big deal. To understand what it means, Reshis, within us, within our Torah learning, is a complete reorienting from, of course, we have a goal, we want Mashiach to be here. We want things to improve and get better, right? But when all you have is the end, and that means that the time spent getting to the end, you have a big kasha on it. Why did I have to deal with all that time? Why did I have to go through all of this in the middle? Let us just get there, right? Big kasha, major kasha, earth-shattering kasha, like really, really heavy duty. And this is where there's this, that's in the Midrash it said, right? Bechol eis, who will make it? Who will make it? Right? Olami, olami, halavai tehemalas chen lefanai, bechol eis, at every moment. Like you are for me right now at this moment of Bereshis, Hinei Tov Me'od. Every moment, that's like a major thing. Hashem is, it's an amazing height of what this Medrash is giving you, God's wistfulness. Like, if only it could be new every moment. It's so incredible. But it means every moment, even while we're in the process. So you know that on the fourth day of creation, Hashem said that there should be a eitz pri ose pri. There should be fruit trees that create fruit. And then the pasuk says what came out were eitz ose pri, not eitz pri ose pri. And Rashi brings, and Midrashim bring, that eitz pri ose pri means that the tree itself was supposed to taste as sweet as the fruit. The bark. It's supposed to be able to just take a branch and it tastes like apple. It's just supposed to be like. But the earth rebelled. There was something that was dissonant and off. And the Maral explains that what this means is that now the fruit, which is the goal, what came into the world is goal-oriented living as opposed to process. Right? What are we living for? For process or for product? Deep question. What are we living for? When you're living only for product, then the process is just chaval al hazman. If there would be some way to just eliminate the whole process and just be eating apples all the time, then gewalt, right? The tikkun is to actually have process be as sweet as the product. And that's how Hashem asked and wanted the world to be. Obviously, it's all with Hashem's plan. It's all that the consciousness of creation should come to value the process, to love every mood. Like, like we get excited about our kids when it's like their wedding day or they have a grandchild or whatever. But like just, yeah, what's that? When they start walking, give out, right? But like just sitting on the Shabbos afternoon for 5 minutes, not even talking, can also be like the greatest thing ever, right? To value each moment. Mamish, right? So Shlomo saying, some people only know the secret of the end, so for them the world was a waste of time. If only we could have just fast forwarded to Mashiach, right? But Gaval, the people who know the secret of the beginning, the people who are living this chol eis as a reshis, that's another kind of life experience entirely. Doesn't mean they're not suffering, doesn't mean things aren't hard. But there's this is, I think, what it was like. I was only with Shlomo one time in my life, but from what I gather from listening and from people, is there was a kind of a sense of celebrating of every moment with Shlomo. Even if it's Tisha B'Av. When he walks in, it's like, okay, let's cry together. It's like it's okay. In other words, but wow, there's like a nostalgia for the present moment. Wow, like here we are, wow, here we are. It's now, The Medrash teaches us what is called the beginning. Yisrael is called the beginning. The Beis HaMikdash is called a beginning, and Avraham is called a beginning, right? The world is called a beginning. You know why the world is called a beginning? The whole world is always beginning. And we know this on the atomic level. Things are always just blinking into existence. The waves and the particles and everything is mamish. Actually, it's not just like an idea. We, in our minds, get stuck in oldness. But the reality is always new. There's Rav Fruman Zatzal used to say, you could look at the world as uvdot, facts, or you could experience the world as shefa, as like flow. That's how Rav Fruman put it. What is reality? Is it a bunch of facts or is it a flow? Hey, amazing thing. Yeah, this is the thing that our minds, we want to solidify, and we want to like just close and finish, and then things can become old. But the Omek HaEmes is that it really is always beginning. Hashem is Mechadesh B'Tuva, like we say every day in the Siddur. B'chol Yom Tomid, Ma'aseh Bereishis, right? Imagine if, God forbid, someone is going to commit suicide, Shlomo. You know what you do? You take a walk in the forest. You want to help them get back to themselves. You take them to nature. You don't take them to Times Square, right? Not in the middle of the market. You go out to the forest where the world is the way Hashem created it. There, what do you feel? There, what do you feel? You feel like beginning all over again. And I remember that it's not in this teaching, but I remember seeing once from Shlomo, the one time he was on an airplane, and he was learning Ishbitz. And next to him was a non-Jew. And he asked the rabbi, what are you learning? What are you doing? And he said over to him this whole Torah, that Bereshis means newness, and it means that Hashem, he said it a little differently than the way he put it here. He says Hashem, but similar. He says Hashem put the power of beginning and newness into nature. And whenever you need a new beginning, just go to nature and you'll find the whole koach of Bereshis in the trees, in the sky, in the birds, in the earth. All living things. Fine. So he figured, okay, I learned some Torah with a sweet Gentile, right? Then like a few years later, he gets a letter in the mail. He says, sitting with you on that airplane, you remember me? He says, that learning saved my life. You heard the story? That learning saved my life. He said, this guy said, and I was a successful businessman. Everything was going great. And then Nebuch made a few bad deals, lost everything. I didn't know how I would face my family, how I would face my colleagues, how I could continue. My whole identity was based in my possessions. And I'm a very organized man. I planned out my suicide. I planned it all out. I had the gun. I knew everyone was going to be away. And then I sat down at my desk. I wrote the suicide note. And I saw I still had like 8 minutes because he had timed it, It's a funny thing. That's how he said it. So I had like a few minutes left, And I looked on my desk and I saw a Bible, like a simple Bible. And I remembered sitting next to you on that plane ride and what you told me about beginnings. And I opened and I read the first verse and I put down the gun and went out to my backyard and stood there with the trees and decided to live. Isn't it amazing? It's amazing. Out of this world. Yeah, but it's really there.
Now he's super successful because it's years later and he wants sensual.
Simchat Shlomo, ding, ding, ding. Exactly. That would be unbelievable. Who knows? Maybe he's watching this video. You never know. So, it's really true. It's really true. It's very important that we get to nature, and different people have different parts of nature that they connect to more. Mountains, some people are forest, people desert. Eretz Yisrael has Gaval, beach, ocean. My wife is also water. Any water. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm more a forest guy.
A forest person.
I think so. Yeah. And he says, imagine if. So he says, you feel like beginning all over again. Why so? Because God created the world with beginnings, and the whole world is filled with beginnings. nature in its natural state, just the way the trees stretch out and the branches and just and the waves come in, it's at peace, and it's profoundly new, going all the back to those shisim, to those subterranean tunnels that go back all the way to the source. Someone says, imagine I'm overwhelmed and sad, I don't know what to do. I open the window, get myself some fresh air. What does air do to me? Fresh air gives you the strength to begin again. Someone says, this is what Yerushalayim is. Why is Yerushalayim so holy? Yerushalayim is so holy because if you even if you're not in Yerushalayim, but you just remember Yerushalayim, you just think about Yerushalayim, it gives you strength to begin. That already gives you strength to begin. What happened in the Holy Temple to the people who visited it? It says, what happened to those people? What was it like? Here comes a sinner. All his life he sinned, right? Somebody who's just totally living a life that is not in tune. And he walks into the Holy Temple. He walks out dancing. What happened to him? He has the strength to start. It's a new beginning. Beis Hamikdash Yerushalayim has that energy to begin again. It has that root energy of all reality. We leave the Holy Temple different from the way we entered it. But we have to know how to enter. How do we enter Yerushalayim? How do we enter the Holy Temple? You know what it means to purify yourself and come to the temple? It does not mean you leave your baggage outside and then you go in. To come to the Beis Hamikdash means you'll be standing before Hashem. To stand before Hashem means you have to bring all your baggage in with you. Right? I'm coming in, there are all kinds of reasons to go to the Beis Hamikdash. The Ola, which is the first offering that's mentioned in Sefer Vayikra, when Hashem opens up talking about Korbanos, the first thing is an Ola. An Ola is a voluntary offering. It's a voluntary offering that's brought when a person feels, one of the main reasons is when a person feels that their thoughts are confusing them or bringing them to a negative place. You bring an Ola and you lift up your mind. That's what the elevation offering is about. That's what the Ola is about. The Zohar Chadash on Ola is absolutely off the charts. Zohar Chadash in Parshas Tzav. I'm not going to do it right now. Maybe we will, but we'll see. It's unbelievable, the Zohar Chadash, Parshas Tzav. That's one of the clearest places where the Zohar explains each part of a korban and what it does and how it lifts up your mind. Deepest of the deep. Because, sometimes I come because I forgot and I turned on the light on Shabbos. But sometimes I come because I really need like an overhaul of my mind. I need my whole mind to be elevated. I need to bring all my baggage and let it just go up, just lift off of me, just lighten the load, right? I need to bring everything in and it's so good. Just get back to the lightness of the Beis Hamikdash. Get back to the beginning energy, To come to the Holy Temple means you're standing before Hashem. To stand before Hashem means you have to take all your baggage in with you. It says, imagine you have to see the president. You can't walk into his office with all your furniture or even with a shopping bag. You leave everything outside, right? But when it comes to Hashem, it's the opposite, right? We need to be as vulnerable and real with Hashem as otherwise we're not really standing all the way before Hashem. You leave baggage out, it means you're leaving a part of yourself outside. Right? To really come before Hashem and to believe that Hashem wants the whole you with everything that you're schlepping around with you. Shlach al Hashem Yehavcha, David Melech says, throw your weight, your pekel onto Hashem. Throw it all onto Hashem. Hashem said, please, I got it. He can catch 1,000 tons. He'd catch it and, twirl it like it's a balloon. It's for Hashem, He can handle it. We, for whatever reason, we're guilty. We don't feel it's right. We think of Hashem like a president. Like, no. I have to come. I have to first, I have to. I can't come to Hashem, before everything's all in perfect order. But the real way to stand before Hashem is davka in the disorder. That's the way you're being the real you. When it comes to Hashem, unless you come with everything, you're still not completely standing before Him. If you left something outside, then only part of you is with Him. You're not fully with Him. Shlomo says, where do we experience this? In the Kedusha of Shabbos, right? We know that the Beis HaMikdash Yerushalayim is Kedushas HaMakom, is the holiness of place. And here we are, thank God. And Shabbos is the holiness of time. So the way you enter Shabbos can teach us about the way that you enter the Beis HaMikdash. Let's change the way you enter the Beis HaMikdash. And he explains. What do we do Friday night? At the end of Lechadodi, everyone turns around at the last verse. You say, Boi v'shalom, right? Come in peace, Ateres Bala, crown of the husband, Shabbos queen, and we turn around and look behind us. Someone says, this is such an amazing thing. Someone says, what are you looking for when you turn back? What are we looking for? We look around to see if there's anything we forgot to bring into Shabbos with us. Are there some parts of ourselves that we're checking at the door? Right? Are we really bringing our whole self into Shabbos? Right? Then it's really going to be Shabbos. Otherwise, there'll still be part of us that's like holding on Wednesday and still upset at the cashier or whatever, etc. Right?
4 years ago, instead of Shabbaton,
Yeah.
the 5 watches, 7 watches, on Fahrenheit 18.
Yeah.
And when it came to turning around for, during Hadadah, we didn't turn around because we were facing the Beit HaMikdash.
Oh, wow. And you can't do it there, right? Okay. So it's the same idea, though, with this. You need to bring everything with you to the Beis HaMikdash. Everything. And so Friday night. Yeah. It was there in front of us. Yeah, totally. Wow. Some people say that in order to really be in Shabbos, you have to leave your baggage outside and just be a little bit Shabbosdik for a day. Just forget about it, right? But this is not real. Mamish being in Shabbos means that we have to take everything we have and bring it in with us into the holy day. When you're just going for a walk, we don't turn around to see if we forgot anything because we don't take anything with us for a little walk. But when you move to a new place, when you're moving, right? That's the analogy for Shabbos. It's moving. It's not just you're going to go back a million times to make sure you got everything, right? When you move into a new place, you go back and make sure you took everything. You're not supposed to walk into Shabbos. We're supposed to move into Shabbos. Gewaldig. If we really move into Shabbos, then before we enter, we turn around and we say, Boi b'shalom, come in peace. And right then, we turn around to see if there's anything we forgot to bring it into Shabbos with us. We're supposed to come into Shabbos with everything we have. And this is how a Yid Allah walks into the Beis HaMikdash. Right? Not just, I'm going to an official formal event and I'm leaving all my troubles behind. The realest way to stand before Hashem is with everything. I'm so excited to bring everything in and let it get connected onto the Mizbeach and bring me back to the newness, to bring me back to the core of reality. Okay, this next piece that Shlomo says, I'm just going to read it. It's pure poetry. I wouldn't want to all of it is, but this especially, just this next chunk is so beautiful. He says, there is a little land, and in that little land there is a little city. In that city there is a little street, and in that street there is a little wall. When you stand by that holy wall, you can hear the footsteps of our father Abraham, and you can hear the trumpet of the great day to come. You hear the past, and you can hear the future. You can hear the singing of the Levites, or you can hear us crying going into exile. You can hear the 6 million crying out of the gas chambers, and you can hear the Yiddlach's tears in Siberia. You can only see clearly if your eyes are filled with tears. When you stand by the holy wall and your tears are flowing, you see 6 million tears by that holy wall. You see the tears of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. You see the tears of King David. You can see the tears of your own children. You can see the tears of the whole world. You can hear people singing the songs of yesterday, of tomorrow, of the great day to come. The holiest time of the day is between day and night, when it's not night and it's not yet morning. Night doesn't want to leave the holy wall, and the day doesn't want to drive out the night. They make peace between each other by that holy wall, and they say, let's be together, day and night, night and day. This is the holiest time by the wall. I was standing one early morning between day and night by the holy wall, and I was saying Kaddish for my father. But when you stand by that holy wall, you say Kaddish for the whole world. Sometimes you feel like saying Kaddish for your own soul, and sometimes you feel like saying Kaddish for tomorrow. Then you hear the words, Yizgadol v'Yizkadash Shemei Rabbah. May Hashem's name be great and sanctified. And you remember, there is one God. And you know that the great morning is coming. You know that day and night will get together. We're living and the dead, we and the whole world. This is my song, the song of tears, because on that great day, the tears will march through the world, and the whole world will join them. The tears will clear the world and prepare the world. Everything will come together. We will all come together. It will be a new morning, a new beginning. I love these packages. This writing is just this like, wow. It's just, Shlomo just took us right into his own experience. It's just like, okay, so 10 more minutes. You read some more learning. Was that? Oh, well, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I guess so, yeah. I guess so. L'chaim, l'chaim. The first line of the Torah says, Bereshis bar Elokim es hashamayim ve'es haaretz. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth, and the verse continues, Va'aretz ha'saso v'avo, and the world was in chaos. V'ruach Elokim rachavas al pnei hamayim, the Spirit of God was upon the waters. The Medrash asks, what was the Spirit of Hashem that was upon the waters? That is Rucho Shel Mashiach, the Spirit of Mashiach. And then it says, Vayom Elokim Yehi Or, and God said, let there be light. Vayhi Or, and there was light. That means that someday, when Mashiach comes, it will be the time for Hashem to say, let there be light. Right? So the whole first few verses of the Torah are like a little microcosm of all of history. Right? Toyu, Vavoyu, Choshech, Tahoim, Ruach Elokim, Mashiach, Yehi Or. Right? Now listen to this. He says, V'ha'aretz. What does it mean? Ha'aretz was tovavo. What is this? This is the Holy Land. What other land? Ha'aretz, the land. It's Eretz Yisrael. What land could it be? The land was mamish in chaos. What does that mean? That's the Churban Beis Hamikdash. It's the destruction of the temple. And Ruach Elokim Rachefes al pnei hamayim, the Spirit of Hashem, which is the Spirit of Mashiach, is hovering over the waters. What is that? Answers, these were all the tears that were shed over the destruction. Who was crying over the destruction? The Jewish people were crying, and Hashem was crying. In Hebrew, there's no single term for water. Mayim is always in plural. What does that mean? Since Mayim here means the tears, Ruach Elokim Rachefes al pnei hamayim, the tears, the water of the tears, That means that it's always two tears. In other words, when I'm crying, God is also crying. There has never been one tear in the world, Shlomo. Always Hashem is also crying. It's incredible. Every tear that someone sheds, what? Double your fun. The campaign. Every tear that someone sheds, Hashem is also crying. The two tears at least every time. No one has ever cried alone, says Shlomo. Told you this that Shlomo said, I heard on a recording, when he hears a car beeping, he hears the shofar of Rosh Hashanah. It's only Shlomo. You have to be such a sensitive soul. It means the frustration, the pain of somebody, whatever, he cut me up, man. Really what they're crying for is, Hashem, where are you? Mashiach, where are you? Like that it's really true. And the depths of the depths of the depths. What really are we upset about? What really are we demanding? And you have to be Shlomo to hear that. It's almost, he hears how every cry is two cries. We know that the first two letters of the Aleph Beis are Aleph and Beis, right? So, and Bereshis begins with a bet. And the Ten Commandments, the Torah begins with an Aleph of Anochi, right? What caused the destruction of the world is that the Aleph and the Beis, the physical world and the Torah, never got together. There's a dissonance between the Beis of Bereshis and the Aleph of Anochi, the physical world and the spiritual Torah. The life as we experience it and the ideal of what life should be, and somehow they're not getting together, right? The Aleph and the Beis. Our Beis, our physical world, has not been completely integrated into our Aleph, our Torah. Or that some of our Aleph, our Torah, just didn't get deep enough into our kishkas, into our physical being, and get embodied. The Aleph and the Beis just never got together, and that results in destruction. We try our best. We hang on a little bit, bouncing back and forth between the Aleph and the Beis, clinging to both, but without them being connected. We just aren't whole. We're not completely natural and not completely unnatural. We're a little bit good, a little bit evil, a little bit in the world, a little bit following our nature, a little bit connected to Yiddishkeit, everything, a little bit. This is chaos, right? This is ha'aretz haisa soyu v'vayu. It's okay, it's part of our growing, it's understandable, etc., but it's also tough and chaotic, right? Soyu v'vayu, do you know what soyu v'vayu means? Shlomo? Chaos means that everything is here, but it's not in the right place. It's all here. It's just out of order. Yeah? Imagine I come into your house and it's mamish chaos. It doesn't mean there's no kitchen, no bathroom. Chaos means that the couch is on top of the stove. What's going on here? I mean, I know you need a couch and you need a stove, but not in the same place. If you have a bed and a table, it's beautiful. I'm glad you have a table and you have a bed, but will you please put it all in order? Otherwise, it seems like total destruction, right? It's all the same stuff, just when it's all on top of each other, just not the right place, right?
Except if you're a 2-year-old,
Right.
3-year-old.
And then for them, it's perfect. Somebody said, I love living in a mess because that way life is full of surprises. In any case, so someone says, chaos, everything is there, but not in the right place. It never came together. You see what it is. It is possible for a couple to hang on to each other for 2,000 years, but they never really got together. Shlomo's approaching here, by the way, answer about the tears with this. These next few lines are Gavalt. It says, you could have a couple, they're together for, let's say, 2,000 years, you know, and they're hanging on to each other, but they never really got together. It's not really a chibur. Still, it's also not bad enough to divorce each other. It's not living, but it's also not dying. Just kind of, not all the way connected. Then something happens and they just can't go on the way they are going now. Something happens, they get into a fight where we can't continue like this, so they separate. So you know what happens then? Suddenly, after they separate, they realize that they really belong to each other, right? This is this thing about the tears and the separation. It's not all the way an answer. We can't have all the way an answer. But there's this place where our connectivity is there, but it's kind of not all the way there. It's limbo, sort of. But then when we get separated, how could I not have appreciated, you know, and we crying about it, and then we get back together and we really connect. Yeah, that's the idea here. You see, Shlomo, their staying together was not the cure. Their cure was the separation. Staying together in a lukewarm, limbo, nishtahin, nishtaher kind of a way, it's needs to be healed. And the healing actually is the separation. The way things are now is no good. Too much chaos, half here and half there. Inside, we know that we cannot live with only the aleph or only the beis. Even if we have both, we need them together. To the world and we in our lives, we start getting the aleph and the beis, the aleph of Torah and the beis of physical existence back together again. Does you know where this happened? Where was spiritual and physical? Asar divei yechadun, ruchi v'nafshin. Where's the place where the spiritual and the physical can get together? It's Yerushalayim. It's Beis HaMikdash, right? The Holy Temple. We went into the temple with everything we had. Dafka, not checking anything outside. All our shame, fears, and guilt. And we came out singing. How? What happened? It's because the Beis HaMikdash put everything in its right place. Everything in the Beis HaMikdash is very precise. The Mizbeach has to be exactly, you have to have a Navi to tell you exactly where the Mizbeach needs to be. Everything is totally precision. Beis HaMikdash is where everything came together. The complete integration between the Torah and the world. So what we saw so far is Bereshis is the energy of beginning. You go back to nature and get a whole new lease on life. Hashem, wistful, things should stay, that newness. Created for the people who understand the secret of newness, who understand the secret of process, who don't get stuck in the goal-oriented perspective, the Eitz Osepri, the Eitz Pri Osepri, that the process is so incredible. And we can enjoy each moment, enjoy the newness of each part of the process. And then Shlomo moved into the tears and the holy wall, the little street, the little wall, little city, and unbelievable how the chaos that then is in Pesach Beis of the Chumash. The things are out of order. And the Beis HaMikdash is a place where we can recalibrate and reconnect, and dafka by bringing all the aspects of our being, every part of ourselves there without checking anything at the door. And that's how we connect the physical with the spiritual. When the physical and the spiritual are connected, that's when you have that newness. That's when the world is malachein kevarishona, when the world is in that experiential connectedness that it had from its very pristine first moments of existence. And that's our amazing avoda, to keep bringing it back to that place of relating and connecting where everything is fresh and new. Questions, thoughts? As the Hashem, where would we be? Yeah.
Took a detour, and that's when we met each other.
Mm.
And it was such an experience. And then afterwards,
Was it on Purim? You were with someone for Purim? Wow.
Oh my God, 40 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's the smallest encounter, and even today, 40 plus years later, I'm proud of that.
Oh.
And I ran and said, just asked me for my Hebrew name.
Well.
And I gave me a bracha, maybe a hug. I was so touched from that little encounter.
Oh my God.
He came back and said to my husband, you ever think that he wanted to just like, and he was just leaving it. So that was like, no, absolutely. Like,
you also grew up. You also had grown up.
I went to Yeshiva, so I had some back, never practicing.
Right. Oh my gosh.
2 years later.
Wow.
And it was just so impactful. And that was it. I was like, wow, it's just, and that was the power. I have a friend, you may know her, Tamima Markowitz. She's a Gioris. She was doing research or whatever in Canada, and they were going out. Her and some friends were going someplace or whatever and they saw something for a singing rabbi. So she went along with them, and she just got.
Oh my gosh!
She started learning with a guy from Canada, and just unbelievable.
With him there, and she's a friend of yours.
She,
wow.
tremendous, 7 kids,
Ah.
super, like, well, she went, very close to, Rabbi Shlomo Freifeld.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Incredible.
yeah. She's supposed to come this, but she's an amazing story, but all from Rabbi Shlomo.
Shlomo.
Was this Shabbos in Otniel?
Yeah.
In the afternoon, a group of ladies got together and we talked about the parasha. That whenever the subject of love came up, the ladies brought up Shlomo Kali.
Mm.
You know that
He's
you
only
know, it's
really
synonymous.
Amazing.
And then I had some Yeshiva boys over to my house, whatever, Friday night last week, and one said, some guy was davening for the Amud or something, and he snuck in a Shlomo tune, and that was it. Since then, the rabbi says nobody else is allowed to daven Hallel. That's all. I was like, I don't understand.
Because he loved it so much.
No, because they're so not.
Oh, again, no.
Oh, left, whatever, Lakewood or whatever. He could have been the Rosh Yeshiva. I said, Shlomo Kal was the Rosh Yeshiva of the world.
Exactly.
Like, you can only see what you want to see, but I'm just saying.
Wow.
The maybe at best a 1 minute encounter, not even 30 seconds, but 40 plus years later, that it still brings me to tears.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So,
Leibus.
Yeah. Connie.
Leibus, hi, it's Connie. So last week, for the first time, I went to Reb Shlomo's Kever.
Oh wow.
I was searching for it for a while, and then I don't know why it just dawned on me last week to just Google map it, and then I was able to just find it very easily, right?
Yeah.
So I found it, and I was very overwhelmed with how simple it was. Like, I started to cry just at like the anivus at his kever, of his kever, and then I walked up and I was reading what was written over there, and I don't know if anybody's been there, but there are 2 things written in English. And it's so reminiscent of who he is and what we learned from him. On the one side, it says, the deepest of the deep, the holiest of the holy.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, it says, Mamish Agivalt, the sweetest of the sweet. And this is like his words. Like, it just made me smile so big. And I was the only one there, so I got to have a little like kumsitz with myself over there and singing like we're Shlomo Niganim. And it was very, very special. So whoever, I just really encourage people to go. But what's interesting is when you started out teaching in Bereshis, like right away, the first question that I had was, so why did Hashem wait so many years, like thousands of years, 2,500 years until he gave the Torah? And then, the question was answered. The question was answered because it's about the process. In the creation story is the answer. It's the process, So it was just such a
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Connie.
Yep, my pleasure. Thank you.
Amazing.
It should be an amazing week. A week of
You
new
too.
beginnings where we get to tap into the new beginnings.
Mamish kacha. Mamish.
Yeah.
Yofi.
Be well,
Okay.
everyone.